She was a Seattle girl. I think she went to Franklin, if I remember correctly, Franklin High School. And she was also very young when they went into the program. Heidi was the youngest. She was just barely 21. I think Letha was 6 months ahead of her. So she was quite young. And she had, you know, I think she was still looking for you know, a job career in life. And I remember her saying, when we had a kind of a historical, not a commemoration, but a celebration of our 25-year anniversary. I remember her saying that she never dreamed that she was going to end up in electrical work. She wanted to be a you know, funeral home worker, funeral director. But you know, she was looking for a trade, and she was quieter than some of the other people. At City Light, I was actually very, very moved and in some ways saddened when I went to her memorial, because so many people talked about how full of joy she always was, and how she always had a big smile for everybody, and how warm she was with all her friends and family. And it struck me because I don't think she felt that she could be that way at City Light. She was much more guarded and much more quiet. And it was, you know, the whole atmosphere, especially in some of those early years. I remember after we went back, so it was in that period when it was the roughest, after we had won our court case. She and I think, were partners at that point. We were working at the same place anyway. And it was the end of the day. We were walking back into the building from the loading dock. And a roll of, you know, that black electrical tape that we used on the cruise had been in her pocket, and it kind of popped out of her pocket and fell down. And the crew chief, one of the crew chiefs, who, you know, they carry weight, yelled out at the top of his lungs, "Hey, Letha, your asshole just fell out." He might have thought that he was being funny, but I see that as a real racist remark. The other thing was her nickname, which I understand she later on embraced and said she liked it and stuff, but it was Cannonball, because she was short and round and black. And I didn't like it, and she didn't like it initially, I know. And, you know, just, I'm sure there were innumerable other things that I wasn't around to see. Yeah. But when you were asking about other people becoming journey workers, I think Letha was the last one to reach journey level status. And that is even after Marge, who had gone back to being a secretary, and then some years later went back and became an operator. And she worked in the Network Underground, which is the people who work downtown. And she just was discounted, you know, by people. I think it took her like 10 or 12 years to reach journey level status. And it shouldn't have. There was no reason for it to. Right. There was no excuse for it. Her work record was always sterling, you know. I don't recall a single incident of her making a mistake, that, I mean, some people make spectacular errors and you hear about it. I don't recall anything like that ever. And, but it took her a long time to break through the fact that people just discounted her as a black woman. And she must have, yes. Not only was she the first black woman cable splicer, but she's the only one. There still hasn't been another.
That's amazing.
So, there's a real success story in the ETT program, but it took a toll on people, and it didn't bring down the barriers as much as it should have, because there's still a lot of them there, and they're coming back up, in fact.